you are at the right place where you could get the right information. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit about um, the income limit for 2026. We're mainly going to concentrate on, for those of you who's considering early retirement, and we'll get more on that. I had my note here. My note got disappeared, but nevertheless, we'll get those notes back. Um, as you are aware, when you apply for early retirement, early retirement requires that you have a certain income limit. The income limit that you have, for example, let's say that right now the income limit for 2026 is going to be 24,000. I believe it's 24,800. Um, if Jazz could bring me back my phone so I could quote the right amount. Somebody please take and but it's 24,000 and change. So that increase from the 23,400 to it's about 24,800, something like that. And so for $2 oh for every $2 that you make, they're going to hold back a dollar. I've been talking about this for so long, and now I'm it's escaping. Yeah, for every $2, they're going to hold back a dollar. Okay. So in other words, let's say for example, you make about 44,800. So for that 20,000 extra you make, so for every $2 you make, they're going to hold a dollar. So they're going to hold back $10,000 for you. Now I want to go take my time to really really explain that to you, especially for those of you who's just new to retirement benefits. And also, I'm going to take my time and explain to you guys about Medicare when you enroll in Medicare, your responsibility. So we're going to do them one step at a time. But first, let's talk about the income, okay? The income limit. What does that mean? It's not that you are being limited on how much you should make, how many hours you should work. It simply means that okay, I have my notes now. I'm going to put on my glasses so I could see better. Okay, my apology now. Okay, I have the right number. For 2026, the standard Social Security limit for 2026, if you are under full retirement age, you can earn up to $24,480. For every $2 that you make above 24,480, you're not losing it, but they're going to hold back a dollar for you. Now, the month that you're going to reach the age of 66, the limit is 65,160. Now, let me break this down a bit for you. Now, when you reach the age of 66, for every $3 earned, they're going to hold back a dollar for you. Okay? So we're going to go back and we're going to highlight it a bit for you, so to help you understand. So we established that the amount is $24,480. So you put that in your head that, okay, if I work, I make $24,000 $24,480, then I can expect that I will be getting all my retirement income. But if you make above $24,480, then you could expect that for every $2 you make above $24,480, they're going to hold $1 for you. And the way they're going to hold $1 is simply by, when you receive your, let's say for example, you're receiving $1,000 a month. Well, let's make an easy math. Let's say you are receiving $2,000 a month from Social Security. And the amount they hold is amount to $10,000. So for the first 5 months, they're going to hold $2,000 for you. So first 5 months, you're not getting any money from Social Security. Now, a lot of people might be listening to me and say, wait a minute, they're holding my money back. Hold on a second. Don't jump to conclusion yet. Because that $10,000 they withheld and they took from your Social Security back from you the first 5 months, after the first 5 months, they're going to continue to give you back $2,000 a month. But that $10,000 that they held back, now they're going to take that $10,000 and put it back on top of your money. So let's say, for example, the example we used earlier is $44,000. You make $44,080 for the year. So they're going to take that $10,000 and add it onto it. Now, they are going to take Social Security tax based on $54,480. Now, after they make the calculation, they will send you a letter and say that we miscalculate your benefits. So you're going to receive an increase for math purposes. We said you'll get $500 up front, and you're going to be receiving on a monthly basis an additional $30. I'm being generous on one hand and not so generous on the other hand. So now, instead of getting $2,000 a month, starting the first of the year, you're going to get $2,030 a month. And if it happened that it's one of those years where there's a cost of living adjustment, then you're going to get that as well. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. I want to hear from you as well. Before we continue, while this is in my head, because if I don't, what's in my head, if it doesn't come out, I'm going to forget about it. I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate our football team that qualified for to play next year, I believe, in the World Cup. Listen, we have been battling so many things, battling the known and unknown. So it's, you see that flag behind? Well, it's on this side. Those flags there represent something big. And don't forget also, while I'm here, this show is live on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe so you could get these news, you could get that information whenever we're on the air, whenever it's available for you. And you're able to go back and listen to it over and over, because the information that we're giving you is information that's so useful that you should archive these show. And right now, what they're doing is doing the short version, so that you could, on a quick version, listen to it and get that information and move on. So go to WSRF 1580 AM and subscribe, and like. And that help us bring you this information on a regular basis. So congratulations to our team. And I was joking earlier with Marie at the office. Tout fanatique yo, ou pas tande yo, c'est l'équipe la gagne ou tande yo. Dis ça en créole, so, pour tout le monde qui comprenne. Mais, yes, what again, fanatique, and congratulations to them as well. And we'll do a big celebration in the next hour. So you guys stay tuned for the Creole version of this. So again, subscribe. All right, let's continue with the information. So the year that you become 66, then your income limit is $65,160. So, listen, that amount went up to about, for a few years, it didn't budge. But it just went up 10,000. Is it 10,000 or 3,000? I think it was 55 last this. It's 55 this year. So now it went to 65,000. 65,140. Let me see. 160. So if you make anything underneath 65,000, then they're not going to hold any money for you. But if you happen to make, for every $3 over $65,160 you make, they're going to hold $1. For example, if you make $100,000, to be exact, 106, let me give you the right math. $105,160. So that $40, if you divide the $40 by let's say it's 90 to make easy math, 95,130. So you made 30,000 above. So they're going to take $10,000 and add it on to the 95,000 that you made. 95,160 that you make. So now you're going to pay tax based on $105,160. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. I'm going to continue to send the number to you guys. And those of you who have questions, you guys could come chime right in, ask question, and make sure you understand this. Now, I'm glad we're doing this part in English, because there's so many people that potentially that are listening right now. They're able to speak Creole. Yes, they understand Creole. And we have some that when I hear them speak Creole, I'm going, and still listen to this show. We want to make sure everyone that's listening, and if you have a question, whether you want to ask the question in Creole or English, we're going to answer you. So this information that I just provide to you, this is what's going to happen in 2026. As usual, when you come to me, my job is to provide you with the best course of action. And what do I mean by that? If you come to me, you ask me you ask me to fill an application for you, and you're 62, I'm going to question you. Why do you want to take your benefit at 62? Because you're only going to get about, believe, 70%. So you're going to lose 30% of your benefits because, well, actually, you're not going to lose it, but since you're taking it early, so they have to spread that payment out to more times. So it's basically they have to spread it an additional 5 years. So which will cause you to get a lower benefit because you're getting it for a longer period of time. Now, what's going to happen is this. In most cases, my experience is this. People will opt to get the benefits because they're going through a situation and they think that getting that money is going to solve it. But at the same token, they continue to work. So let's say, for example, I had a gentleman that I spoke with earlier this week, and he explained to me he's doing 2 jobs. When he explained to me he's doing 2 jobs, I'm going, whoa. Well, if you've been doing 2 jobs for a period of time, yes, you could let go one and start collecting your retirement benefits. Because know that what's going to happen is that depending how much you make, and right now what we said it was 24,480, if memory serves me correct, and I'm going to double check that amount. Yes, 24,480. So you may be trying to save money or get more money to come in, but you have to keep in mind that the next question that I will be asking you is this. How much money do you intend to make per year? If we're not using the example of a person that's doing 2 jobs, let's use an example that a person that's doing only 1 job, and that person is making $40,000 a year, I'm going to tell you it's not a good idea. I've had people that we've had conversation about it, about when to take those benefits, and their reaction would be, well, I need to take it now. I don't know how long I'm going to live. I'd rather take my money now. It's my money. I want it now. You should take the time to consider what you're doing. It's like if you have some money and you want to invest that money, you want to consider where you're going to put that investment and how much it's going to yield, whether it's per year, per quarter. You want to have all that information. It's the same thing with your retirement benefits. And I think for retirement benefits, it's much easier for you to get information, for you to have somebody that know what they're doing and explain it to you. So when you lose the 30%, that 30% doesn't come back. I've had people over the years that ask me a question about when I reach 65, when I reach 67, are they going to give me all the money they took from me back? And my response to you, no, because they didn't take any money from you. What you've done is increase the amount of years that you're going to receiving benefits. So they have to make adjustment to increase the months. In that case, if you take it 62, you have 60 months additional payments that you're going to be receiving. And those 60 months, They're not going to look at you in the face and say, well, you're a nice guy, so we're going to waive the 60-month payment. We're going to give you what we normally should give you when you reach your full retirement age. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So they're going to make the calculation that those 60 months, how much it's worth, and reduce the amount. And now that's what you will be receiving. The other advice that I give anybody that decide to take early retirement is go on ssa.gov, and you could open an account with Social Security. It will tell you exactly how much you should be getting at the age of 62, at the age of 65, at the age of 67. So when you have that information, you could make a much better decision whether you should collect at age of 62 or not. The other aspect of this is that you are obligated to take your Medicare at the age of 65. This is something that no lawmakers have addressed. And the reason they can't address it because that's one area they can lower the age Medicare enrollment period, newly enrolled in Medicare. They can reduce that age. A few years ago, there was, I think Bernie Sanders had proposed to bring down the Medicare age to 62, Medicare eligibility age to 62. So it wasn't something that was widely received, and they gave various reasons why they shouldn't. And when you think it makes sense for them to would have dropped it down to 62. But in the same token, they drop it down to 62. Not unless you're receiving early retirement, you wouldn't have any money to pay the Part B premium. So this is my segue to going into Medicare. We had a gentleman earlier that came in, and it's lack of knowledge with that particular individual. Medicare, when you join Medicare, first of all, when you sign, let's take a scenario, you just apply for Medicare at age 65 only. So you're not collecting the retirement yet. You're going to wait till you're 67 to collect the retirement. But Medicare Part A, the premium for Medicare Part A is about $550, and that amount is taken from you, or that when you was working, and they take a portion of it from your paycheck. So when you reach the age of 65, you become eligible for Medicare. Then you could apply and you will receive Medicare. The different parts, we won't get too much into them because I really want to concentrate about how not to lose your Part B premium, Part B benefits. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Now, often I have a lot of people come to me and said, well, I don't have Part B. And then when we check, you had it at one point. The fact that you didn't pay the premium, so you lose it. then we have to go through different steps to help you get it back. Now, if you're not getting your retirement benefits, where Social Security could have some place where they could put their hand in and take that premium from you, then what's suggested is that every 3 months they're going to send you a bill, and when they send you that bill, you have to pay them. So they're going to send you a 3 months premium bill that you have to write a check and send it to them. So your Part B could stay active. So you could have the pleasure of going to the doctors without having any co-payment, without having any payments at all. You could see your specialist without any issue and without paying any money out of your pocket. So it comes with a cost. And that cost is, this year, the premium was $186.50, I believe, $185. That premium allows you to be basically, the fact that you have the Part B, it allows you to join a Medicare Advantage plan. And lots of other things, lots of other benefits. So every 3 months you pay it, then your benefits will continue. When you stop or you miss a payment, then CMS is going to cut your Part B. Then now you got to go through a process of getting the Part B back. And the process is basically paying your outstanding balance before you could get it. Now, what you could do to not get to that point is that during that time, you don't apply for Part B. You stay out of harm's way. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Because once you miss the first 3 months, then they're going to remove the Part B from your benefits. And now what we have to go through is simply, we have to put in a new application through Social Security for you to get your Part B restored, pay the outstanding balance that you have for Medicare, and your benefits will be restored. I really would like to hear from you guys. So call now at 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Let me hear from you guys. So Medicare is very important because, remember, once you reach in your 60s, it's vitally important for you to see your doctors on a regular basis. Yesterday, an individual told me, I think it's by, forgot the year, I think by 2030 or 35, 20% of our population will be considered seniors. So if we have 20% of our population are receiving Medicare, then, then imagine 20% of the population receiving Medicare. And the first thing that pops into my mind, because that 20% they are baby boomers. And that 80% that's supposed to be working, is it going to be enough money coming in to pay for those individuals that's receiving those benefits? And the answer is no. Because the baby boomers, that generation is much larger. The Gen Zs, what's the other one? Gen Zs and anyway, my memory. You have Gen Zs. You have my memory is failing me right now. And the only way that you, the Gen Zs and the next Gen Z X, those new demographic, the only way that they'll be able to receive benefits is when you allow immigrants to come in this country, for them to pay their taxes, and that way that you, the baby boomers, will be able to continue receiving benefits. Otherwise, we're going to have an issue because politicians have, over the years, have dipped into the Social Security retirement funds just to fund tax payment, tax increase, or tax decrease for the most powerful, the rich. So, not unless Congress fund the Social Security Retirement Fund at that time, then it's a matter of reducing benefits. The last time President Reagan attempted to do something about it, what he did was raise the retirement age to 67. At that time, it was done so swift, and we had no clue of what was going on. But now we got to pay for it because people my generation now, you have to work up your retirement age is 67 years old. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. And myself, you could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885, right at this number right here, what you're seeing on the screen right now. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Also, that this show is sponsored by Solis Health Plan. It also sponsored by Alto Healthcare, and it's also sponsored by Cladelia Management Services. We invite you to also subscribe. Subscribe, because that's the only way that you could support us so that we could continue bringing these type of information for you. Now, imagine 20% of 500 million people that's living in the United States. So you're talking about 100 million people that will be receiving Social Security benefits or retirement benefits. That's about 100 million. So you guys going to need this information. You guys going to find it that it is crucial to have that information so that you can navigate your health care. So call down 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580, and subscribe on this show so that you could get this type of information every time we on the air. Don't miss a beat. Okay. Um, so again, to reiterate, the new to the 2026 income limit is 24,480 for early retirement. And the same year that you're gonna be 66, your income limit is 65,160. I want you guys to know those numbers because when you get a call and somebody tells you that, well, you're eligible to get certain benefits, those two numbers will tell you which benefits that you're able to, you'll be eligible for. And in the weeks coming, we will have more information, more figures for you in terms of income limit for Social Security. We see that SSI have gone up to about $994. But the income, the asset limit is still at $2,000 per individual and $3,000 for a couple. Those numbers have not changed. Those numbers have not changed. It's still the same. $305-945-1580, $305-945-1580. So the next 15 minutes that we have, I want to talk a little bit about SSI. We see that over the years, at one point SSI was as low as 500. As cost of living adjustment are made, it has grown extremely over the few years, where we had 5% of cost of living adjustment or 8% cost of living adjustment. And to the point, this year we had this, well, in 2026, you'll have a 2.8 increase. That makes a difference on the amount that SSI is right now, which is will be actually $994. When you look at the amount, you say, well, that's a lot. But it's not. Because on average, I think we have a call, an average rent in South Florida, it's about $1,000. Okay, an average rent it's about $1,000. We're going to take this first call. Hello, you on the air.
Hi, Gilbert.
Hi.
If I am 61, and what the best thing to do right now is just apply for the SSI, or wait for the full retirement.
If you're 61, you're not eligible for any benefits right now. Now, you could wait till you're 62 to apply for early retirement. But if I were in your position, the only reason I would apply for early retirement is if I was working two jobs, then the amount that you're going to be receiving on a monthly basis will be higher. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Understand.
Okay. So the first thing that I would suggest that you do is go on SSA.gov, open a My account. That way you'll know exactly how much you're going to be receiving on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. All right, I'll do that.
Because if I were to tell you to take it now, that would be doing you a disservice. You would call me after you start receiving those benefits and say, Gilbert, are you crazy? I, I, I can't do anything with that little money.
Yeah, yeah.
So stick around, wait for full retirement, and if you can, and enjoy the rest of your life.
All right, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. 305-945-1580, 305-945-1580. Things are getting harder and harder and harder. And the truth to the matter is, Social Security was not meant to be your only source of income for retirement. But the reality of where we're living, how we're living, unfortunately, it is our only source of retirement benefits. Because some of us have tried to invest and lose our certain investment that we took. So you have to be intentional on what you're doing when it comes down to your Social Security retirement. Now, the question that the gentleman asked, can he wait, or should he take? Even SSI doesn't start till 65. So everything is based around 65. And for some of us, we're there. We're knocking on the door. But when that time comes, make that decision, make the right decision. Because once you sign that application, it's gone. You can't go back. You can't do a do-over. It's done. Now, SSI can be used as a supplement income. And what I mean by this is simply this. If you're making, let's say, for example, you're making $700 from Social Security. Well, if you're 65 years or older and a U.S. citizen, then you could apply for SSI. So the $294, different SSI will give you that to get you up to $994. Now, but SSI has certain restriction. The restrictions are, one, you have to be a U.S. citizen. Although I've met people in my family, and the one person in my family that had SSI, that was a totally different time. I think she got SSI in 1972, 72, 73, somewhere around there. I think by no, it was about in the 60s. My grandmother had SSI. I could talk about it. She's no longer with us for quite some time now. But when she had SSI, I don't believe there was a requirement for you to be a U.S. citizen, because we tried to help her become a citizen, and I remember meeting that gentleman that failed her because she didn't understand. She didn't speak English. Now things are done totally different. Oh, by the way, at Alto Health, we will help you become a U.S. citizen at no cost to you. We will assist you with all the process. So when you call us, we'll get into that. But SSI, yes, you have to be a U.S. citizen. Yes, you gotta have a certain income limit, asset limit, $2,000 for an individual, $3,000 for a couple. And for a couple, for SSI is 1,400 and change for a couple. And that part of it, I could never understand it. I can't understand it because you're getting $900, at $994 as an individual, but as a couple, you're getting $1,400. The math doesn't add up. At the very least, that they should possibly double it for a couple. Anyway, but that's what it is, and we're going to stay with that. Second of all, you cannot leave the United States and spend more than 30 days outside the United States. This is one of the common mistakes that most individuals have made by leaving the country, especially my Haitian brothers and sisters. I have quite a few patients now. They're saying, well, December is the time that everybody go down there. And you don't hear from him. We just hope you guys don't get yourself into any trouble. And that's a conversation for Dr. Semelis. (305-945-1580), 305-945-1580. And the third thing is that for SSI, if any change that's happening in your household, you have to report it in less than 10 days. So you have 10 days to go to the Social Security and report it. These are some of the restrictions that's involved once you decide to apply for SSI. Here's the interesting thing. Don't worry about it. Here's the interesting thing. The interesting part is that, believe it or not, there's some people that when I tell them about SSI and you ask them the question to find out whether they're eligible, and some said, no, we don't want to apply for it. And normally I usually know the answer why. Because if their income meet the requirement, what else do you have? Is it that you have too much money in the bank? That could be one of the cases. But in most cases, it's not the money in the bank. It's the fact that our people love, when they go to Haiti, they're not restricted. They spend a month or 2 months. And listen, if I were in their position, I'm retired. I have a home in Haiti. There's no urgency for me to come back. Yes, I'll spend 2 to 3 months. But I'm not there yet. I can't, if you receive an SSI, you're not there yet as well. So the only thing that you could do is, if you're in need of the benefits, then yes, take advantage of it. But for those of you who like to go, especially at the end of the year, you like to travel to Haiti and spend 2 to 3 months, what I suggest is, before you leave, you go to the Social Security Bureau and report it, that you want them to hold off on paying you for the following months because you're going to be out of the country and you're going to spend longer time out of the country, more than 30 days. So they'll discontinue the benefits, and when you come back, you could reapply again. In fact, that's the way I suggest for you guys to do it, because think about it. You could start making a plan at the end of the year that everybody just get up and go to Haiti. And you stop the benefits. When you come back, you restart it again. And every year you do the same. Every year you do the same. You could do it this way. Anyway, the time is getting closer for me to go. And once again, I'd like to congratulate our Haitian football team for qualifying for the World Cup. This is a big deal. So congratulations, and we're going to pray that they go even further. Right now, the sky's the limit, and we are hoping that, yes, they meet whether it's Brazil, Argentine, la France, aux États-Unis, pour aller tout. Mes amis, c'est un plaisir. It was a pleasure for me to be here today. Sometimes my Creole just sneak in. So it was a pleasure for me to be here with you guys today and bring you this fantastic information. Again, my name is Gilbert Frank, and you could always reach me at 954-667-4885, 954-667-4885. I love you guys. A bientôt. Bye-bye.